At Morinji Temple in the province of Kozuk, where ancient cedar trees stood sentinel over meditation gardens and the morning mist clung to stone pathways, the head priest acquired a beautiful tea kettle for use in the temple's ceremonies. The kettle was exquisite, made of the finest iron with elegant curves and a polished surface that gleamed like a mirror in the candlelight. Its craftsmanship was so fine that the priest believed it must have come from one of the great foundries of Kyoto. One afternoon, the monks gathered in the meditation hall for their tea ceremony, a sacred ritual that brought peace and mindfulness to their daily practice. They carefully placed the new kettle over the sunken hearth, arranging the charcoal just so, and waited for the water to heat. But as the flames licked the kettle's bottom, the most extraordinary thing happened. The kettle began to cry out in a very human voice.
Ouch! Hot! Hot!
Suddenly, before the astonished eyes of the monks, it sprouted a furry head with intelligent dark eyes, a bushy striped tail, and 4 legs with tiny paws, transforming into a half-tanuki, half-kettle creature that leaped off the fire and scampered frantically around the meditation hall. The monks were utterly terrified. Some scrambled backward, crying out that it was a monster sent to test their faith. Others fell to their knees, convinced it was a miracle, a divine sign from the Buddha himself. The novices fled to the corners of the room, while the older monks stood frozen in amazement. The kettle tanuki ran in circles, its little legs churning as it dashed this way and that, occasionally transforming back into its kettle form when it calmed down, only to sprout legs again with a yelp when it accidentally got too close to anything hot, the hearth, the candles, even a warm tea bowl. After the chaos subsided and the creature finally calmed down, reverting to its ordinary kettle form and sitting quietly on the floor as if nothing unusual had happened, the monks carefully subdued it. They wrapped it in thick cloth, speaking prayers of protection as they did so. The head priest held a long council with his senior monks, and after much deliberation, they decided that such a supernatural object, however wondrous, was not suitable for the peaceful practice of their temple ceremonies. By fortunate coincidence, a traveling tinker named Jinzaman happened to be passing through the village that very day. He had stopped at the temple gate to offer his services, as tinkers often did, hoping to mend any damaged pots or tea implements the monks might have. Jinzaman was a poor but honest man, weathered by years on the road, who made his humble living mending pots and pans as he traveled from village to village. His clothes were patched but clean, his tools well maintained despite their age, and his reputation for fair dealing preceded him wherever he went. He had little money to his name, but the priest, eager to be rid of the troublesome kettle and impressed by the tinker's honest countenance, accepted a modest price, far less than such a beautiful piece would normally command. That evening, as Jinzaman made camp beside a quiet stream under the stars, he set the kettle down carefully on a flat stone and began to prepare his simple meal of rice and pickled vegetables. He had just started a small cooking fire when the kettle suddenly began to shimmer and shift. Before his amazed eyes, it transformed, the spout became a nose, the handle curved into a tail, and 4 furry legs appeared beneath its round body. The creature that sat before him was unmistakably a tanuki, though it still retained the distinctive shape and metallic sheen of a tea kettle. It regarded him with bright, intelligent eyes and spoke in a gentle, surprisingly cultured voice.
Please don't be afraid, good sir. I will not harm you. I am most grateful that you purchased me from the temple. Those monks, though well-meaning, did not understand my nature. I have a proposal for you, if you will hear me.
Jinzaman, though startled, speechless at first, found his voice.
I am listening.
He managed to say. The tanuki's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm.
I can perform amazing tricks and transformations, walking, dancing, balancing on ropes, all manner of acrobatic feats. People love to see such wonders, and they will pay well for the privilege. If you agree to treat me well, never putting me over hot flames, never storing me in stuffy boxes, and sharing your food with me, I will perform for audiences, and we can share the profits equally. Together, we could both escape poverty.
Jinzamin studied the creature carefully. Though startled by this supernatural encounter, he was kind-hearted by nature and could see the intelligence and sincerity shining in the Tanuki's eyes. There was no malice there, only hope and honest proposal. After a moment's consideration, he reached out his hand.
I agree to your terms. I will treat you as a partner and friend, and together we shall seek our fortune.
The next day, Jinzamin set up a roadside attraction in the village square, hanging colorful banners and positioning the Tanuki kettle on a small platform he had constructed from wooden boards. As curious villagers began to gather, he raised his voice and announced to the growing crowd that they were about to witness the most amazing sight in all of Japan, the incredible Bunbuku Chagama, the dancing tea kettle. The crowd murmured skeptically at first. A dancing tea kettle? Surely this was some sort of trick or illusion. But their doubts vanished the moment the performance began. The Tanuki performed wonderfully, exceeding even Jinzamin's expectations. In its gleaming kettle form, it walked gracefully across the platform on 4 little legs that appeared and disappeared as needed. It danced to the tune of a flute that Jinzamin played, spinning and bowing with perfect timing. Then came the most impressive feat. The Tanuki balanced on a rope stretched between 2 posts, walking the tightrope while maintaining its kettle shape, sprouting legs just enough to steady itself at each step, its tail waving for balance. The crowd gasped in wonder. Children pointed and laughed with delight. Adults rubbed their eyes, unable to believe what they were seeing. When the Tanuki completed a particularly difficult flip and landed perfectly on the rope, still in kettle form, the crowd erupted in thunderous applause.
Amazing.
It's a miracle.
Word of the dancing tea kettle spread like wildfire through the region. Soon people from neighboring villages and even distant towns began making the journey to see this unprecedented spectacle. Farmers left their fields, merchants closed their shops early, and even samurai stopped to watch the performance. Jinzamin charged a small admission fee, just a few mon per person, and the money began to flow in like water from a spring. For the first time in his hard-working life, the poor tinker found himself becoming truly wealthy. The partnership between man and Tanuki brought prosperity and happiness to both. The months passed with performance after performance, and their fame grew with each passing day. True to his word, Jinzamin treated the Tanuki well, sharing the best food he could afford: rice cakes, fresh fish, seasonal fruits. He purchased a special silk-lined box for the Tanuki to rest in when traveling, ensuring it was always comfortable and never cramped. He never once put the kettle near fire, and he spoke to his partner with respect and genuine affection. The Tanuki, for its part, never tired of performing. It seemed to genuinely enjoy bringing wonder and laughter to the people who came to watch. Sometimes, after the crowds had dispersed, it would transform fully into its Tanuki form and sit with Jinzamin, sharing stories of the old days when magical creatures roamed more freely through the land. Their partnership lasted for several years, during which Jinzamin transformed from a struggling tinker into a prosperous man. He purchased a small house, fine clothes, and saved enough money to ensure a comfortable old age. But he never forgot that all of this was due to his partnership with the remarkable creature who had trusted him. Eventually, after much thought and discussion with his Tanuki friend, Jinzamin decided it was time to honor the kettle's origins. Filled with gratitude for all the Tanuki had done for him, and wanting to ensure the magical creature would be revered and protected for generations to come, he returned the kettle to Morinji Temple with great ceremony. The head priest, now much older and wiser, accepted the kettle with deep bows and profound respect. The temple enshrined it as a sacred object, placing it in a position of honor in their treasure hall. They built a special altar for it, where visitors could pay their respects and leave offerings. From that day forward, people came from far and wide, from every corner of Japan, to see the famous Bunbuka Chagama. They would stand before it in reverent silence, marveling at the tea kettle that had brought fortune and wonder to all who encountered it, a reminder that magic still existed in the world for those with eyes to see it and hearts open to receive it.